There is a household crisis that happens all of the time, but most of us just don't get how serious it really is. Today, we're going to break down water damage. So let's jump right in.
All right, let me ask you something. What do you think is the single biggest threat to your home? I mean, really think about it. Is it fire? Maybe termites? What's your guess for the number one enemy of your house?
Believe it or not, it might just be water.
Yeah, that's right. It's sneaky, it can be totally silent, and it is unbelievably destructive. Water is this constant threat that, honestly, most of us just don't take seriously until it's way, way too late.
Okay, so when we say water damage, you're probably picturing a huge flood, right? Some big dramatic event. But the truth is, that's usually not it. The real danger? It's often hiding in plain sight, coming from the everyday stuff inside your very own walls.
And this quote? It just hits the nail on the head. Imagine this. A single pipe freezes and bursts. It can dump hundreds, literally hundreds of gallons of water into your home before you even realize anything's wrong. It's not about a slow drip. It's about a sudden disaster that can happen when you're not even there.
And just look at this list. It's not just one thing. It's everything. We're talking about water seeping into your foundation, a pipe bursting, sure, but also your washing machine hose failing or your gutters overflowing, even your sump pump giving out. These are all these normal, kind of boring parts of a house that can suddenly turn into a total nightmare.
Okay, so the water's in your house. Now what? Well, this is where the problem totally changes. The clock starts ticking. I mean, immediately. And you are in a serious, serious race against time. See this number? 24 to 48 hours. I want you to burn this into your brain because this is everything. It is without a doubt the most important window of time in any water damage situation. And you're probably asking, why? What's so special about 2 days? Well, here's the scary part. That's how long you have before mold starts to grow. See, mold spores are everywhere, all the time, just floating around. They're harmless until they find moisture. Give them 24 to 48 hours in a damp spot, and boom. They activate, they spread, they colonize. Now you don't just have a water problem, you've got a much bigger, much nastier mold problem. And that is what we call secondary damage. And this is absolutely crucial to understand. Acting fast isn't just about cleaning up the puddle you can see. It's about stopping this stuff from happening. This is when your beautiful hardwood floors start to cup and warp, your drywall turns to mush, your insulation is totally ruined, and the actual structure of your house can start to rot. This is where things get really, really expensive. So you might be thinking, okay, I get it, act fast, I can grab a mop, right? Well, not so fast. It actually depends entirely on where that water came from. You see, not all water is created equal. Professionals have a system for this, and it all comes down to contamination. Let's break this down. You've got 3 categories. Category 1, that's clean water. Think a broken water supply line. Not great, but not a health risk at first. Then there's category 2, gray water. This is from your dishwasher or washing machine. It's got soaps, dirt, stuff you don't want to mess with. But category 3, this is the one you have to respect. We're talking black water. This is sewage or floodwater from a river. It's not just dirty, it's literally a biohazard. And why does this matter so much? Here's why. With clean, category 1 water, you might be able to save your carpet. But with black, category 3 water, that carpet, the padding underneath, the drywall it's soaked, anything porous it touches is garbage. It has to be torn out and treated like hazardous waste. So this little category number, it dictates the entire game plan. Okay, so it's a huge problem. It's time sensitive. The water can be dangerous. So how do the pros actually handle this? I can tell you it's a lot more than just setting up a few fans and calling it a day. It's actually a very methodical, scientific process. It really breaks down into these 4 steps. First up, they have to assess the damage and document everything. That's for the insurance company. Then, step 2, get that standing water out and fast using massive pumps. Step 3 is the real magic, scientific structural drying. And finally, they don't just guess. They use special meters to verify everything is completely dry before they call the job done. But let's zoom in on that 3rd step, because it's probably the most misunderstood part. Scientific drying. What does that even mean? What's the difference between what they do and, just pointing a bunch of fans you bought at the hardware store at a wet wall? Well, it's all about controlling these 4 things: temperature, humidity, airflow, and vapor pressure.
The pros use this incredible equipment: heaters, giant dehumidifiers, powerful air movers, not just to blow air around, but to strategically manipulate the environment. They literally create conditions that pull moisture right out of the wood and drywall. It's pretty amazing. So here's the takeaway. It's not guesswork. It is applied building science. They're using actual physics and calculations to get the job done right. And that's the difference between getting your house properly dry in a few days versus trapping hidden moisture inside your walls that's just going to turn into a huge mold problem down the road. All right, so the fans are gone, the crew has packed up. How do you really know the job is done? How can you be 100% sure your house is actually dry and you won't have problems later? Well, there's a specific goal here, and it's called the dry standard. And it has nothing to do with just touching a wall and saying, yep, feels dry. It's a measurable scientific standard. The pros use moisture meters to get actual readings from the wood and the drywall to prove that they're back to their normal pre-damage moisture levels. There is zero guesswork involved. And really, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? A tiny leak you ignore today can become a massive, expensive, tear-out-the-walls project just a few weeks from now. The cost, the stress, the disruption, it just gets bigger and bigger with every single hour you wait. The only way to win is to act fast and act smart. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Because really, it's not a matter of if your home will ever have a water issue. It's a matter of when. And knowing what to do in that very first hour, well, that can make all the difference in the world.